Good afternoon, and welcome to the recovery. Isn't it wonderful? I love this economic recovery. So many happy people wherever I go. So many happy stories now of employment and money and security. I love it. Life is wonderful now. I've got 5 new cars and 7 unicorns in the backyard because the economic recovery has brought all of this. No, there is no economic recovery, as I'm sure you're well aware. It exists only in certain people's minds. The media is taking great pains to push a false reality on the whole of our society. I do not see this. Most people I know don't see this, but they want you to believe it. One of the problems that we're facing in our country is that most people are so thick when it comes to economics that if things just seem slightly normal, they'll believe anything. And that's the case today. It's been a long time since we've had a face-to-face conversation, so let me quickly summarize everything that's happened in this country since the crisis began. The government now controls the auto industry, the housing industry, soon the healthcare industry, the military, the education system. The government basically controls and supports everything. So even though the market is not in free fall and has passed Dow 11,000, it's because everything is now completely controlled by the government. The government is running the show. Make no mistake about that. I don't actually have a problem with that. However, reality dictates that this charade cannot go on forever. Sooner or later, the majority of the population will begin to question. They will wake up. When that happens, we can expect all hell to break loose. Let's just cut to the chase. Now, I'm sure many of you log on to Bloomberg, you read the Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, IBD, you name it, maybe The Economist. There's so many news agencies to report about things. But it's what the news agencies don't talk about that's coming that I think you will find most interesting. I'm not concerned with the day-to-day goings of the interest rate announced by the Fed if they're going to hold the rates. I'm not concerned with the quarterly profits of Walmart or Google or any other corporation. I think we need to look at an issue that is not addressed anywhere. Now, if you're sane and you have half a mind, you know the economy is collapsing. It's just a matter of time. And it's taken longer than I like. However, I don't foresee the economy being able to stand on its own 2 legs past the end of this summer. The U.S. economy is supported by housing. It's all coming to an end because at the end of this summer, houses will flood onto the market, be they foreclosures, bank loans, short sales, people desperate to sell their homes because it's going to be a flood. And once the flood starts, home prices everywhere will be dragged down. It'll be a never-ending downward cycle. But back to the point at hand. So what's going to happen once the economy collapses? Let's look at that right now. Well, we can expect prices on everything to rise. Televisions, refrigerators, gasoline. You need to begin to hedge yourself for the future. Now, normally when people say hedge yourself, they're talking about, diversified investment portfolios. Forget that. You don't need a diversified investment portfolio. You need a house. You need some land in the back to grow a garden. You need solar panels, a gun, food, clothing, things that are going to have a long-term use value to you. Because things are going to be very expensive once our trading partners no longer work for slave wages or just don't trade with us at all. So prepare yourself for the future by preparing yourself for what you will need for the next 10 years. Would you care for some tea? I think it's about time we addressed the Tea Party. Now, I know what you're thinking right away. Oh, those people, they're crazy. They're absolutely bonkers and out of their mind. Well, let me tell you something about them. You're right, most of them are. Well, maybe not most, but I would say a good 25% are mentally ill, and that is a margin that is too high for my comfort zone. I went on the internet recently to read and learn more about the Tea Party movement, and I must say that I was shocked and extremely disappointed to see that they lack an online presence. Their organization, their group is, I don't know how they're set up, it's strange. They get a lot of media press, large scale, CNN, Fox News. But when it comes to the actual grassroots stuff that's not controlled by the Republican Party, I don't see much in the way of anything on the internet, and I find that to be alarming. To those of you who are in the Tea Party, if you want to make a contribution, if you actually want to do something, set up a coherent website with a message board that's actually frequented by more than 2 people once a month. Now, you might wonder why I would say that to the Tea Party. I have no problem with their point of view. I think the more points of view we have, the better. But what I cannot tolerate is disorganization, and they are completely disorganized. They need to take control of their message, of what their message is. I know that they have this saying that they have no message, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you have no message, you're not a party. Form your own message. And you also need to take control of your crowds. These people who show up with the President Obama wasn't born in the United States sign, they need to go. Anyone who shows up with Obama is Hitler, they need to go. You need to show that you are civilized and not mentally ill if you want to be taken seriously. That's just some free advice from someone wearing a ski mask who talks about economics. One other topic of interest is the nation Argentina. When you get a chance, Google 1999 Argentina financial crisis. Or better yet, just type in financial crisis and the words Argentina. Now there's a whole can of worms that you're going to love to open up, because we are heading down the exact same path that Argentina has already gone down. Much like our country, Argentina had an unsustainable debt problem, and it destroyed their economy.